Hello, everyone. It's Michael. We're going to skip the normal intro today because, as you can see by the title of this YouTube video and the thumbnail, it's Tupac's birthday. Today would have been the Prophet Tupac Amaru Shakur's 52nd birthday. So you may be asking yourself, if it's Tupac's birthday, why is Michael wearing a Rolling Stones shirt instead of a Tupac shirt? That's a very good question. And the simple answer is that I don't have a Tupac shirt right now. I should get one though. That's really what Amazon's for. So, if there is any single day in the calendar year which is the best day to learn about Tupac Shakur, whether it's listening to his music or watching old interviews on YouTube or Googling him or Wikiing him and learning about him in his life, today is that day. So, to help you all with that, firstly, I'm going to show you guys a remix that recently popped up on my YouTube. If you listen to enough Tupac on YouTube, you start getting a lot of the new remixes as well. Some of them are not that good, but some of them are very, very good. And then I'm going to prophetically speculate on what would happen, how the world would have turned out had Tupac survived and not died in 1996. But first things first, as a short disclaimer, as always, the images I just show you are screenshots of YouTube or anywhere else on the internet where I got my information. I'm not trying to promote anybody or deter you from going to any sites. I don't have any business dealings with anybody. I'm not making any money on this YouTube channel. I'm just a teacher. That being said, I do try to cite my sources when I can, when I have screenshots of where I found them. Sometimes that's not possible. But for instance, the thumbnail image on this YouTube video, the Tupac with angel wings, I actually posted a couple of videos ago, but I'll post it again here so you guys know where the remix is. All right. Currently, my favorite remix that started hitting my YouTube videos only a couple weeks ago is this one. It is very well edited and produced. Tupac would be proud. So kudos and congrats to Old School Gang. So now I'm going to prophetically speculate on what would have happened, what the world would be like had Tupac survived. Why? Well, number one, it's the man's birthday, and I'm trying to honor him. Number two, as I stated before, you live in a multiverse, and there are an infinite or almost an infinite amount of universes, and all of them are different from ours. There's a lot of universes where Tupac survives, but I don't, and you are never watching this. So that's why I'm doing it. And the reason I'm doing it with music is, as I've stated before, Mashiach's supposed to speak to you all, the masses, through music, just as God can speak through me. And just as Tupac was a poet and could tell a story, many stories with his songs, one of my great talents is I can link songs together into a set, like a mixtape, to tell even a greater story, saga, even about Tupac's own life, using his own music. All right, first song, and I don't know if I posted this one before or if this is an OG, but this is a song. If you want to know where Tupac came from, this is the best one. I think I have it labeled something like "You would be surprised what God can do with a nobody." It's a Moses thing, but here's the song. You really only have to listen to the first verse because that's Pac's verse. But if you read the comments and everything, he didn't actually write that when he was 19. He was reminiscing, but he was still really young, like 21. And it's one of the most rawest, prophetic songs that I've ever heard by Pac. Okay, so if Still I Rise is a metaphor for where Pac came from, because as the saying goes, we all came from somewhere. The second song is a metaphor for what Pac was at the end. After he got shot the first 5 times, but before he got shot and died. Man, that song and that remix specifically just show you how good Pac was in his prime, and he died in his prime. Nobody else can do that. Nobody else can do that. Only Pac. Now, finally, for the prophetic speculation on how the world would be had Tupac not died in 1996. In this universe, he still gets shot the first 5 times. He just doesn't get shot in Las Vegas that night and die because he never would have been the same after that. He would have only had one lung, missing one finger. He wouldn't have been able to rap anymore. The world would be totally different. This is a universe when that doesn't happen to him. He gets shot the first 5 times, but he doesn't die after the Tyson fight. Okay, firstly, had Tupac not died in 1996, he definitely would have left death row, and then he definitely would have gotten to a beef, including legal stuff, with Suge and death row over his unreleased material. You got to remember that Suge didn't bail Tupac out of prison out of the goodness of his heart. Suge made Tupac sign a deal with Death Row Records to make at least 3 albums, and then Suge bailed him out of prison. Which Pac promptly did on being released from prison. Pac's first album with Death Row was the legendary album All Eyes on Me, which was a double album, which honored 2 parts out of the 3 with his agreement with Death Row and Suge. And then Tupac died, although not before he wrote 7 more albums that were unreleased. And that's the part where he would have got into a legal argument with Death Row, because any one of them could have sufficed as the 3rd album for Death Row and Suge, but Suge wanted to keep them all, which means Pac would have had to fight him in the courts, which he eventually would have won. Not to mention, because the original contract was written under or signed under duress, but eventually Pac would have gotten access to his originals for all his future albums. So then Pac would have won his legal case. He would have ownership of all his originals, and he would have started his own label, probably in around the year 1997. His first 6 albums would have been albums that you all listen to now, except the beats would probably be slightly different. There might be some more tracks, some other ones, but they all would have gone plat, and Tupac at that point would have had his empire. He would have outsold all other rappers combined, and probably almost all other musicians combined eventually. Plus, as it was the end of the 1990s, Tupac would have perfectly positioned himself through nothing, I guess, but faith to make an exorbitant amount of money once MySpace and YouTube came online and social media came online, and he was able to influence people even quicker and faster as artists can do now. Altogether, with those albums and whatever albums he released after that, and his acting career and his directing career after that, Tupac would have inevitably been the first billionaire of hip hop long before Jay-Z or Beyonce or anybody else. And he just would have changed the game. He would have controlled everything. And this is my favorite screenshot to show that. And that's what Tupac would have become, the king of hip hop, the black dragon of hip hop, the king of music, the king of content. Um, he would have been the greatest rags to riches story in the history of the world. But that's not the end of the story. Because he would have lived into his 40s and he would have changed and he would have mellowed. But in his 42nd year, he would have realized, as I did, that he was actually a prophet of God. And in his 45th year, he would be required to proclaim himself as a Mashiach, which he definitely would have done. Which brings me to the 3rd and final song of the set for today, which would have been the future in that universe, probably about the present for today. but it's a song that metaphorically represents, you know, the type of leader Tupac would have been, the type of Mashiach he would have been, how he would have run his ship. So enjoy. All right, in signing off, let me just wish the Prophet Tupac Amaro Shakur a happy 52nd birthday one more time. And to the rest of you, have a good day. Don't hurt each other. Try not to lie. All right, I'll talk to you all later.